gonna end up getting what we like, and what we wish for is just gonna come true. Whether it's a girl that likes us, is just gonna end up confronting us. And if this is all true, and there's a witch and witches in this county that are casting spells on people, then all these spells are gonna come to light and come to real life around this town, and everything's going to be changing, and people are going to be going through spiritual changes that we're not sure we're going to be able to handle. And I wish for superpowers and super abilities, so I'm going to end up getting those abilities to live with for the rest of my life. It's coming out from October to the next few years. It's all going to be the same thing. It's all going to be happening. There's no point of avoiding it. Just because I say no doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's going to be justice for all the bad stuff that's been done to people. Bad karma is going to come around to the bad. That's always a part of life. And we're just going to go through changes, and pretty much we're all going to be on a spiritual journey, and we're all going to be living our lifestyles, whether it's like Supernatural or The Magicians or whatever our favorite TV shows that gives us inspiration. We're going to be living out our dreams and our lifestyles, whether we make the money or not. We're still going to be living with everything, We're all going to find our twin flame and our soulmate. It's just a matter of our honesty and how we handle things. If we're just going to always be depressed and sad because we don't get it yesterday, well, that doesn't mean that's the same luck today or tomorrow. Life is full of changes. God surprises everybody. You got to give each other the benefit of the doubt. You got to meet halfway, And I believe that there's a person for everybody. There'll be somebody that'll help, that wants to be interested in me and my kids, that wants to fulfill companionship and passion with me, and enjoy my photography, and has things in common with the same, has a natch for faith, and has a natch for magic, and knows how to cure people's problems from trinkets. And all this stuff is going to be kicking off, and all my abilities are kicking in from my disabilities, so they're all going to be kicking in, and life is going to be going through changes. Adults are going to be noticing changes. We're all evolving. We just have to sit there and say yes. Can't just debate about things and say no, it's not going to happen, and all the time and be depressed and sad. That's a part of the darkness in the world that's covering up the light. You got to let that darkness go. You got to say no thank you to the dark things, the bad thoughts, and the bad arrangements. And just because, we see things a certain way, it doesn't mean that that's what the message is going to be. The world's a wonderful place. Half of us got our personalities out there in the world. There's a lot of things we put out in the world that we don't know how people feel. We don't know how people see things. We don't know who our loved ones are. We don't know who our family can be. We don't know what's in our heritage. We don't know the history, because everything's created crazy in life. We don't, we just got to have a sense of faith. We got to have a sense of morality and a sense of mobility. We got to be staying okay. If we accidentally mess with trinkets, then we have to sit there and say, well, then the wishes are going to come true. Can't just sit there and say no just because it didn't happen. Well, maybe it did happen. We didn't realize it, We don't see everything, You have to be passionate in the things you wish for. Like, I wish for this girl to love me, and apparently she already liked me, so maybe she'll fall in love with me. But it's just a natural feeling. It just adds additions to the things that's already there. And I don't know fully 100% how the legends work with trinkets. I've only seen newspapers and people's stories on what happens, so that's just happens for them. Every bearer that makes wishes and messes with this stuff, it happens through them. It doesn't happen through other people. So We've already experienced all the bad karma in life. It's time to deal with the good karma. You know, all the people that diss me and tried to destroy me is only going to end up destroying themselves with all the lies that they mixed in. It's just a part of the generation. It's not supposed to be this way. So then you wonder why it ends up doesn't come back in their favor anymore. Life's got to learn their lessons just as hard as I had to in life. You know, I was taught not to lie and not to do bad stuff because there's consequences to our actions, and that's what the generation has to learn. That's what people have to go through. All these minors messing with adults, they're going to get justice thrown back to them, and they're going to lose friendships and lose popularity and lose jobs. It's just a part of life for not listening. It's not the people that got them in trouble that gets them in trouble. It's the decisions that they make. Every person on this planet is held accountable for their actions. Even if others are involved in the bad stuff, well, they're held accountable for the things they do. You can't frame people if you're out there doing the same bad stuff. It works both ways. If I get in trouble for the actions I do, everybody else gets in trouble for the actions they do. It's no different. That even goes for the political people and the people of power. The same thing happens to them. Why do you think they're doing bad stuff? Because they're too scared of positive energy. They're too scared of positive commitments. They're too afraid to make better business decisions, higher pay and higher raises and higher pay for retirement and higher pay for disability. They want the society to suffer, and karma's just going to come back at them. The lawyers know it. The doctors know it. The citizens know it. It's as plain as day. You got to stop trying to hide this stuff in society. We want to grow better. We want to do better with our lives. You're the ones that's making our lives messed up. So you're going to just be outvoted as well and overpowered. There's a lot of great miracles that happen in history that we learned about in school and through faith. There's a lot of miracles that's happening in the world around us, even here today. You know, just because you don't concept that doesn't mean you have to be afraid of it. Just doesn't mean it's going to harm you, the unknown and the anomalies. Just because we don't know stuff and we see too much stuff on TV, but that doesn't mean that's going to be the resolution, and doesn't mean that's going to be the solution to what's going to be happening the next few years. They talk about too much prophecies, but, you know, we got to go through things, and not everything is written. There's a lot about life that's a journey. Not everything is scripted. Not everything is... You can't just put everything on God's shoulder, because, you know, if you sit there and blame God for everything bad thing that happens, God is going to remember your actions and the bad things you've done in life. And that goes for me as well. Just because I'm not a perfect angel myself, but just because I sin doesn't mean I'll ever fall short of God's love. It's just a slap on the wrist. You know, it's my actions to not doing them again is what defies me. If I make mistakes, I own up to it. You know, I've never been afraid to put myself out there. Yeah, some decisions I made were not the best decisions, but I said no to them, and I didn't commit the actual deeds that they wanted me to commit. So that means whatever destination was written for me can be changed. You know, we live here in the present, in the future, and even our past experiences, you know, maybe some of them reshape our lives here in the present from our past existence, you know. We don't know everything about history. We don't know everything about neurology. We don't know everything about Scientology. We don't know everything about faith. These are some of the most boiling topics on the planet. You got to have a sense of humanity, a sense of humor, a sense of love, a sense of action and adventure. You got to have a sense of just chill out and absorb everything in. Just because, you know, one day we were having the crappiest day of our life doesn't mean that's the same for today or tomorrow. You know, you got to learn from those experiences. If you fall short, don't just bury yourself in the ground and hate yourself for bad decisions on what people say and do or loss of loved ones. Karma comes around. Them same people that screwed me over in life are seeing their own actions come undone and seeing who's the one responsible for creating their pain. And life is funny that way. It just happens that way.